Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano and Frank, our Patriot Bald Eagle. If you have to hit pause on this video to get your coffee or whatever beverage you deem necessary, go ahead and do that now, as this will be a lengthy discussion. We've got a lot to talk about, guys. It is still on its way. It is barreling through Hurricane Milton, now at a Category 5 at a steady 155 mile an hour sustained winds. Just because this has gone down from a Category 5 to a Category 4 does not mean anything. Judging from the live video feeds that we have seen on I-75, I-4, and I-95 all throughout Florida, looks like everybody is heeding the warnings and getting the heck out of there. Tonight we're going to be answering some questions, some things that people have left on the channel. One thing I will say for sure, all of us seems to, at least if we don't live in Florida, have a family friend or someone we know that lives in Florida that is dealing with this right now. First thing I want to talk about is Ohio. Governor Mike DeWine has issued, they're sending some National Guard from Ohio, 40 servicemen to Florida to help with this. And apparently they sent a dozen National Guard to North Carolina as well, so that is good to know that our state is helping. And they're going to be helping out with debris pickup, helping people get back into their homes. Anything they can do, they're going to help, which is awesome to hear. We also know that Florida's National Guard is heavily involved. Guys, this is a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare. This, apparently, I was looking it up. Apparently, Tampa has not taken a direct hit from a hurricane since 1921. Now, we all know that Tampa is surrounded by, all Florida is surrounded by water, but Tampa especially, in a heavy populated city of almost 3 million people, and predominantly built on the water. I mean, any amount of storm surge can be devastating to Tampa, but it's looking like more and more as this storm gets closer, it's going to be somewhere between 8 and 10 feet of water storm surge. It could be worse. It could be worse. Hopefully everybody is heeding the warning and getting out of there. I've seen videos. It has just been, I have had like series of nightmares last night. So did Jessica. We could not sleep well. We know, we're worried about family and friends and you guys who have been hitting us up on the YouTube channel in the comment section. We're just worried for everybody. All of our thoughts and prayers are with you. It's a no joke, guys. It's no joke. And to be hit with a hurricane like this directly after another major storm had basically ripped through the entire eastern side of the United States, here in Cincinnati included, nothing like the devastation that we saw in North Carolina or even Florida or parts of Georgia. We did have a lot of down power lines. We were out of power for a while. We weren't. Me and Jessica weren't, but a lot of Cincinnatians were. Just down the street from here, they were having trouble getting buildings back online and a lot of power outages. So we know what it's like to be without power. Luckily, we weren't this trip, but we're always prepared for it. Hopefully, people have been preparing for this. It looks like we've got about 24 hours before this thing really starts to hit the fans. So if you're watching this video, we're basically, this is a hype video for you to get prepared or get out of the way. Just go further inland or go north. I know we have our one cousins. They live kind of in between Clearwater and St. Petersburg. They are out of there. They are heading toward Georgia right now. And our other side of the family, which is a little south of there, is heading toward their daughter's house near Winter Haven. So Winter Haven looks like some of the storm's going to hit through there as well, along with Orlando. And that's a couple other questions I wanted to answer for some of our viewers that are theme park fans. As most of you know, me and Jessica do visit a lot of the different theme parks down in Florida. And they have a lot of things. There were people saying, oh, Disney's not going to close. Yes, Disney is going to close. The reason why that they have not closed yet, or Universal, because they have to keep open operations to keep people coming in to seek refuge. There are a lot of people. I'm not sure if all of them are, but I'm sure they will be here toward tomorrow, or if not as early by tonight. But a lot of the hotels will be taken up. People would be seeking, like I said, refuge in those hotels. Disney, Universal, most of those hotels are meant to withstand Category 5 hurricane winds. It's one of the safest places on Earth to be in a hurricane. And it's looking like it's going to go right over top. If this storm stays course, then it's going to be going right over top of Orlando. And, you just want to make sure that, don't think because you're not on the coastline that this can't cause damage. It most certainly can, and they're expecting anywhere from 75 to 110 mile an hour wind gusts. So make sure you're cleaning up your yards. There were people who were talking about, people sent me a couple emails of like Disney having their umbrellas up and stuff like that. They're going to take all that stuff down. They have like emergency teams that go in there and they will remove everything. The park will most likely be closed, but like I said, they want to keep these parks running as quick as possible because a lot of the people who are staying in their hotels are going to be staying there throughout this storm. And I can only imagine what it takes to shut down a place like Disney or Universal or SeaWorld or any of these other theme parks. But as you go along, you have to think, not only is there a lot to do, but there's a lot of planning and there's a lot of process in the planning. Like, first thing you have to think about is your customers. The next thing you have to think about is your employees, right? Well, there's a whole process of this. There's going to be employees that are going to be seeking refuge in your hotels as well. And as to where they are not, out in the open about a lot of these things. Well, good or bad. That's why maybe some publicity could be good or bad because they're not talking about these things. They want to make sure that their employees and everybody are safe, right? Because that is what it is really about. It's about safety. And you want to make sure that your friends, family, are safe, especially in those areas, and they get filled up. Those hotels get filled up pretty quick because most Floridians know that it is the safest place on Earth to be. And it is. It is. We have gone over this in previous videos over the years. I was literally showing things about one of Disney's resorts, the structure that it is built on top of and everything when we were down there for Hurricane Irma. Other than some palm trees being bent sideways and stuff. I mean, it looked kind of crazy. But the buildings were sound. The glass was, like I said, the whole buildings are built to withstand this kind of hurricanes. So you better believe they will be closing, especially as the storm gets closer and closer. But again, those operations have to stay open for people to be able to connect and get through to be able to either check out or things like that. It's like if you have somebody working at the front desk, well, you got this person who maybe if they go home, they're putting their life on the line. So they're going to be wanting to stay at Disney or Universal or any of these theme parks as well. So just to answer a few of those comments there. Also, a couple comments we got were some of the things, I wanted to talk about this because it's something that's really scary, and I think it kind of added fuel to my nightmare last night. Is the mayor of Tampa, quoted, this is not me saying this, she quoted she was talking to CNN and said that if you stay here, you are going to die. And I was like, that was the headline, and I went on there, and she literally says this, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty morbid, but, that's a one way to scare people out of getting out of town. I mean, if that's what you have to do, this could be very life-threatening, okay? And if you want to look that up, just look up CNN, or look up Mayor of Tampa CNN. It is all over YouTube, so you can listen to that if you wish. But yeah, even I was like, wow, that's a powerful statement. And the news anchor even said, like, wow, that's a powerful statement coming from you, Mayor, and all this stuff. And she said that she never thought in a million years she would ever have to say anything like that, but that is what she believes. And that is why they are not taking anything lightly, guys. All precautions, this is a deadly storm heading right toward Florida. It looks like in the same path, it is going to cross over Orlando and out, I think they're saying out the end of Titusville and areas like that around Florida. It looks like Daytona Beach is going to get hit on the back end of this if it stays course, which we have no reason to believe otherwise. I mean, Helene did exactly what they said it was going to do. As a matter of fact, we got hit with a double whammy because if you remember when we were talking about Helene, because we were showing what Helene was doing to Cincinnati here. It was going off west. We got that storm, and then boom, it turned around, and then we got hit again. I mean, these storms, they're not predictable, or they're unpredictable, but as far as the path line of what they said was going to happen, did. It just kind of backed off here for a day or a few hours and then came right back, which was kind of scary for us. We didn't really know what was going to happen, but we knew what was happening at North Carolina at the time, and it was just a living nightmare. This is, guys, there's no other way to put it. It is an absolute nightmare. I've been reading so many disturbing stories about this, too. Somebody else came out, somebody was saying that if you plan on staying in Tampa during this storm, to write your name on your arm. To write your name on your arm. Now, if that isn't scary, I don't know what is. You know why they say to do that. In case they find you somewhere, they know your name. I'm like, boy, if I felt that I had to do that, then yeah, I'm getting the heck out. We would have been gone a couple days ago. There's no doubt. We knew a couple days ago how bad this storm was going to be. We had a feeling, just kind of the everything going around, everybody knowing the feeling of the storm. Plus, right after Helene, nobody was messing around. So, but yeah, Ohio is sending some of their National Guard down to Florida. Thank God for that. Hopefully other states are following suit. And there's still massive cleanup in North Carolina to be had. It is just devastated Asheville and some eastern parts of Tennessee. It is just nightmare, guys. Absolute nightmare. All the stuff going online, all the different hearsay and talk and all this. People weren't coming here. People weren't coming there. There's all kinds of people trying to help. I know that. Okay, you don't have to look too hard to see all the different people who are helping out in North Carolina and Tennessee. Don't believe everything you hear or see. Okay, but it is complete devastation. Complete devastation, and we're not taking any chances on this one happening in Florida. I mean, I don't think anybody knew the kind of damage that it was going to cause in North Carolina. I don't think anybody could have predicted that. It was catastrophic. And this storm could be very well catastrophic on Tampa. And the only thing we can hope for is that the storm goes a little bit more south. If the storm goes a little more south, that could be better for Tampa. Still devastating. But if it goes a little north, then it's going to be absolute madness, absolute craziness in Tampa Bay. And we need to just find everything you can to help yourself. Make sure you've got your things in order. Make sure you have your whatever you can think of to take with you. I know we've given a list of ideas. We've had a lot of our viewers leave in the comments things to make sure you have. We've talked about making sure your phones are completely charged. Bring charging banks. Really don't worry about anything else. If it was me, I wouldn't worry about anything else except keeping my phone charged. Making sure I have some non-perishable foods that are sealed, in case I got to get through a day or two before I can find something or get something, and you don't want to have really a lot to carry on you. Like if you're hunkering down and you're trying to protect your home, I get it. But you want to make sure that you have, a bag. You want to make sure everybody in your family has a bag to get out, right? If you have to, if if you're staying, then have a bag filled with everything in your bag that is sealed. All food must be sealed. You don't want it getting wet because then it could be useless. As far as like people were mentioning, canned goods might not be a good idea to carry with you. Not a good idea to carry on your back. That could add to a lot of weight of some room that you're going to need to add other things. You want to make sure that your phone is protected and sealed. During the hurricane, I would be careful using your phone a lot. Maybe not. Just keep it open for phone calls and making sure you're able to contact family and friends who live in Florida, because chances are people are going to be trying to contact you as well to make sure that you are safe, or if they need help, or vice versa. You want to make sure that you have communication during a time like this. There is something that I saw earlier. I was watching Ryan Hall. Y'all, his YouTube channel is amazing for the hurricane watch and everything. And they were talking about a iOS system Okay, you can check his channel out for this, or you can look it up yourself. Any iPhone that is an iPhone 14 or higher has this special kind of iOS system where it'll lock onto a satellite to where you will be able to get out communications. You may want to check that app. I think you update it to iOS 18. Okay, there's an update right now that if you update that to iOS 18, make sure you do that now. And that way, if you happen to lose power, if you don't have cell service, this is a way that you can get communication out. Also, I wanted to mention something very important that one of our viewers mentioned yesterday, and I thought it was genius. Absolute genius. Okay. Update your voicemail. Update your voicemail and give communication. Give where you are at. Okay, let people know, at your voicemail on your phone, your recorder. Okay, because if you can't get a call out or something like that, maybe somebody will call you and you will say, "I'm in Hurricane. Here's my location. Here's the address." This kind of stuff, and then update as you go along. If you have to move, make sure you update that on your voicemail. That way, if someone can't get a hold of you, they know where you are, or at least know that you're okay. I thought that was genius. That was really smart. Our viewers coming up with some really good ideas. People have mentioned like pool noodles, different things, different flotation devices. Because, it's like you watch some of this stuff and some of the storm surge that they're talking about. It's crazy. It's crazy, guys. Get out now if you have a chance. This video will be out as early as I can get it out here on Tuesday, September 8th, 2024. And in my opinion, have a bag, a backpack, something, right? Everything sealed, maybe ponchos, different maybe a tarp in there, stuff you can wrap up in plastic if you have to. And just every little thing you can think of, make sure you have that. Don't forget about, if you can get to, most places right now in Florida are probably wiped out on food. They're wiped out on gas. They may not be wiped out on those charging banks, though, for your cell phone or whatever electronic device you may need. Don't forget medicines, too. Don't forget your, people have been talking about that, too. Don't forget your prescription medicines. If you can get to your doctor and maybe get some extra if you're running low or something. Not sure of that, but make sure you have the medicines you're going to need because even after this storm, it could be hard to get around. It could be hard to get around if a lot of debris is scattered out. I have watched a couple videos where people have been scattering around, taking trucks and stuff and getting debris off the ground because the winds are going to pick this debris up from the last storm and it's going to start going everywhere. You don't want this stuff flying into your house, these kind of things. And really just kind of speeding through this, guys, because I'm trying to think of everything I can to make sure you're as prepared as much as possible. Thank God our family has moved out of the way of the storm. We were really worried about that. Because, years ago, I'll be honest with you right now, years ago, I'd have been a diehard too. I'd have been like, we'll be all right. I'll get some sandbags, put it up on the doors, we'll be fine, board up the windows. I'd have taken precautions in my own home, but I probably was stubborn enough years ago to where I wouldn't have left. Not today. Not today. After seeing devastation from Irma myself, seeing what a gigantic storm can cause, that made me a believer. And I will... no, I don't take any chances in that, and you shouldn't either. Guys, I will continue to update as we go along here. Thank you all to all of your heartfelt comments to we've had a lot of people on the channel that were in Hurricane Helene and kind of in the wrecking ball that it created. And we have thousands of viewers in Florida that are hopefully seeking refuge right now. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. And again, we'll continue to keep you updated on any kind of information we know. Make sure you leave it down in the comments, anything you are seeing. Traffic's bad, but you know what? You still got from this point, you got about 30 hours from the time, well, maybe not from the time you see this video, maybe 24 hours, okay? 24 hours. That is still enough time as to where 75 looked like a parking lot. It's still moving, kind of like, it was during Irma. It was like we were still moving inches at a time. Now's the time. It's going to be out this afternoon. If you have to get up and go, just go. It is coming. The storm is coming. Everybody has sounded the alarm. It is a warning. All around Tampa, all around Sarasota, get out. Guys, I hate to keep I just want to make sure everybody's safe. Want to make sure everybody's safe. Let's not get, this could be one of the worst storms that has ever hit Florida. I mean, that is what some people are saying, and I just want to make sure that, if you can get out, hunker down, make sure if you're even if you're in Central Florida, make sure that I know that's a thing. Florida they don't have basements, right? It's not like up here. I always have to think of that. Like there are no basements in Florida. But make sure, maybe if you have if the storm's coming and it's coming and you got those winds coming over you, maybe take your mattress, right? Your mattress, have that ready. Have that ready. Maybe sit in a corner. Maybe like the bathrooms, kind of like in a hurricane, sit in the hallway. Any solid structure that you can stay under in your house is going to be the smartest thing as the heaviest winds come through. But and stay tuned to Ryan Hall, y'all. And that's his channel, Ryan Hall, y'all. The guy's awesome. They got a team that's going to be out all day tomorrow, Wednesday. Actually, I think it's starting at 2:00. He's going to have a live show. And then he's on right now as I'm doing this. And I just want to help get the message out there because, I want people to just, like I said, be safe. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.